Your San Jose Sharks are on a roll. They've won 2 in a row on the road so far in this road trip. And Timo Meier, 4 goals in those last 2 games. Oh boy, we're going to talk about all of that and Evander Kane right now. This is Teal Town After Dark. Good evening, everyone. It is Tuesday night, November 30th, the last day of November in 2021. Your San Jose Sharks are victorious 5-2 over the New Jersey Devils, and we welcome you to this edition of Teal Town After Dark. This is your live interactive Sharks postgame. We do this after every single Sharks game, home and away, whether it's on NBC Sports or on ESPN Plus. We welcome you everywhere. So, if you want to be part of the show, chat with us and fellow Sharks fans on the page or the app. Follow us on the social, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Please hit that subscribe button. It really helps us out big time. SoundCloud, Reddit, Discord, and find everything at tealtownusa.com. Hi, everyone. I am Erik alongside Ian Reid. Bud, how you doing?
Very good. Very good tonight. Great. Just a good game tonight, right? After everything, after the season's been so up and down, I thought the Sharks had won a couple, had won a game or two where I thought, probably don't win that without Reimer. But tonight I thought they played, a really good game. And, New Jersey's not a juggernaut by any stretch of the imagination, but I still you have to like a lot of the things that they did tonight. And, we'll definitely get into it as we go on.
Yeah, we will get into the recap of this game, but let's break up the news now. Evander Kane hit the ice as a member of the San Jose Barracuda. We're going to play the first few minutes of this press conference, and we'll come back to you on this. But Evander Kane's first presser with the Barracuda. Interesting thoughts.
I'm down here to, I was sent down here looking to have some fun, and we had a really good day today, and we'll see what happens.
Do you have any sense as to whether there's a path for you to return to the Sharks? And do you want to return to the Sharks, or is your main goal is to get back to the NHL no matter where that might be?
I think we have a good plan in place. I'm not bringing it into that too much, but I'm looking forward to it.
And what do you think you need to show people, whether the Sharks or another organization, to get back to the NHL?
I came in today the same person, same teammate, same player that I was, and everything went great. I think there's been a lot of misinformation that's been said, but I can only control how I act and what I do here, and that's what I'm doing.
The misinformation, did that hurt you? What was your reaction when you saw things you said?
It's happened my whole career. I mean, we'd be here all day if I got into it.
And throughout this whole process, was there any time you did some soul searching on your part just to reflect on what's been going on?
Yeah, I mean, there's been a lot of different changes, good changes for me in my life. It maybe doesn't appear that way, but I at the end of the day, there's hockey and then there's life, and you have to make certain decisions that, maybe from being a public figure, obviously got a little bit more attention than maybe some other people. So obviously there's been some tough things to deal with personally, but I think we're in a really good spot now.
And it was reported that you had submitted a fake vaccine card to the National Hockey League. Can you say if that was accurate, and what were some of the reasons maybe you did that?
Yeah, you'll have to refer to the NHL statement that they put out via the suspension. I served my time, did my 21 games, and now I'm back.
I guess, was there some vaccine hesitancy on your part?
You know what? I'm fully vaccinated, and that's all I'll have to say about it.
Do you feel like you're active, or how do you feel like you've been skating, just getting back to
I feel good. I've been skating for the last 3 weeks here, so I feel good. I had a few days off recently, but yeah, I feel really good. It was nice to get out with the guys and pass the puck and shooting a couple of goalies for the first time in a little bit. But no, conditioning's great. Feel good, feel ready.
How have those first initial conversations been with Roy and just some of the Barracuda players?
Roy, we had Roy a couple of years ago as an assistant, so I know Roy. He's really easy to get along with, and you know, we had a few good laughs this morning. Like I said, it's the first day, but it's been fun so far.
Have you spoken or heard from any of the Sharks players at all during this time, or this last month?
No, I've been doing my own thing, getting myself prepared, and handling my business as I'm sure they have.
Did you get any sense there was an issue last year in the dressing room?
No, it was, I mean, I don't think you're going to have a group of people for, I mean, there was COVID last year, short season, 150 days, 160 days, get along perfectly. But I think there's been a big misconception of the entire team or multiple players. I think it's, you know, it's funny, you know, I had my end of the year meeting last year and it was nothing positive, and how great I was with the young guys and, you know, how great of a season I had. But, you know, apparently something happened in the summer that I was unaware of, so it was all new to me and news to me. So it was interesting.
How long are you willing to be done? At some point, obviously, you have the talent to be in the NHL last year. So,
Thank you.
How long are you willing to be down here to wait for this to play out?
I'm under contract with the Sharks. They've sent me down. I have shown up and will continue to show up. And I look forward to whatever is to come here in the next week or so.
You have a 3-team, you know, modified trade clause. Are you willing to just expand that a little bit?
You know, I have that in there for a reason. And you know, that's my right. And you know, I'll let my agent and them handle that part. But no, if you know, that's it's definitely nice to have that in my contract because it is important.
All right, well, we'll post most of the rest of the presser. It went on for about 10 minutes on our YouTube channel following the show. But Ian, we wanted to get this out of the way because there are more positive news, obviously, with the Sharks' victory tonight. But we wanted to talk about Evander Kane's first practice and then getting the questions that he's finally been getting, you know, on from the press. What did you think of the presser? And what did you think of some of his comments?
I think at the end of the day, it's always the same thing with Evander Kane. It's never like the one thing that I think you would want to see him do in any of this is to take some shred of personal accountability. But you didn't get that. It's the media. It's other people say, you know, it's he didn't do anything wrong. In his opinion, it's nothing he's done. It's all bewildering to him. Like, I don't know how this happened.
It's all stunning, yeah.
Yeah, like it's, you know, there's not a shred of personal accountability.
Yeah, and so I think that's why he's with the Barracuda. I obviously it's going to be a showcase for him to be a landing spot, but
yeah.
You know, I think you were trying to hope for something positive to come out of that, and it's like, you know. And like Slatonic's saying, it's he can do no wrong in his eyes, you know.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? It's never Evander Kane's fault. Nothing is ever his. It's always other people did this to him. It's always, you know, this is what's happened to me. It's not what,
right?
You know, and I think, and I think, you know, it's going to be interesting. I think because I feel like you have to kind of we have to challenge ourselves now, right? Because it's really easy to build the narrative at this point, right? Like, whereas like you could build the narrative from this game. Oh, the Sharks were so relieved after Evander Kane got assigned to the Barracuda that they had a good game, and maybe they didn't have other good games, right? And I just like, as much as Evander Kane wants to take responsibility for nothing, I do want to be very careful going forward as to what we attribute to him. because it could be really, really easy at this point to be like, if everything goes wrong, oh, well, it's Evander Kane's fault, obviously. Right?
Right.
So I think that's going to be the challenge going forward. Because I mean, I don't think everything's Evander Kane, but there's plenty that is. And the fact that he can't own up to any of it is completely ridiculous to me.
And personally, it just puts a bad look on him. And to find it, and then to talk about, I'm glad I have that in my contract for the three teams.
Apparently his old agent is suing him because he didn't get. He owes the money probably because he owes everyone money.
Oh boy, it doesn't stop, unfortunately. My goodness. But we'll post the entire press conference on our website or on our YouTube channel a little later on this evening. We wanted to get that out of the way because.
Yeah, it was a good game tonight. Like I know originally we were gonna do the game and then do like that, and I was like, why do you want to end on that kind of a sour note? Like, let's get that crap out of the way.
We
can be done with it, and then we can talk about better things like the game tonight.
Yeah, I mean, let's talk about this game as the Sharks, after a victory in Chicago, they go into New Jersey to take on the return of Jack Hughes, and he gets a contract extension. In the process, he gets an 8x8. So lots to celebrate for Jack Hughes as he returns to the lineup for the New Jersey Devils. However, Noah Gregor gets things going a little over 4 minutes in, and wow, he was flying tonight. He definitely had some hunger that I think you love to see.
Yeah, I've been really impressed with Noah Gregor the longer he's been up with the big club. I thought the first game he was up, I wasn't too impressed. I thought in the third period, I don't remember which game it was that his first game he played, but I thought a lot of offense just died on his stick, right? Like his stick was where a plague went to die. And that hasn't been the case as his call-up has gone on. And I think he's done really, really well for himself since that first game, which I thought he had a rough game. But other than that, yeah, I've really liked what Noah Gregor has brought to the team. I like the speed that he brings. Guy can fly. We've seen it a billion times. And now he's getting on the score sheet, which that's what you got to do if you want to stay on the big club. You got to start factoring into the scoring.
Yeah, I mean, it just keeps going and going, and like I said, he's shown these flashes when he's gotten called up. I remember that first goal where he had that wicked wrister. He had that speed. He showed that again tonight, and that's something to show. He had a goal and assist. So again, you gotta love it because this is one of those guys the Sharks are banking on to be. I don't want to say top six, but maybe more of the top 9 or middle 6 to be a little bit sandpaper, a little bit of goal scorer, have some speed to it, and get it done.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that made it 1-0. Burns would take a hooking call a couple minutes later, but nothing would come out of that. It's kind of a fairly quiet first period. It's like kind of they were feeling each other out a little bit. But then the second period, the Sharks came on fire.
It's funny going back to the first because it's funny that you said that because when I was kind of scribbling things down in my brain for things to talk about on the show, I didn't think they got off to like a great start, but then they score the first goal, so I had to like scratch that out. And I thought, I thought like for the early going for me, the first 4 minutes or so, I thought New Jersey was all over them.
Yeah, it definitely started early with New Jersey, but then that goal by Gregor, using his speed, using puck possession, getting the shots on net, definitely changed things and kind of changed the momentum. Yeah, like I said, there was like, okay, New Jersey's coming on a little bit. Okay, that's not too bad. But then, it was a pretty decent period. It was 14-10 in shots after 20 minutes. It was fairly even. But then the Sharks came on in second period, 4:14 in. Jake Middleton hiding this thunder shot that he had. Nice little accurate shot. Apparently, I guess he's working with Erik Karlsson or something. I don't know. He had some comments after the game. Nabby and I have been working on that slide play. Fortunately, it went off my glove. I don't think that's Middleton though. But we know we aren't going to score many goals this night. We just need to stick to the plan. but always good to see the defense scoring. And I believe the defense had about 4 points. Yeah, 4 points on the night. Always nice to see that. But Middleton getting that one to make it 2-0.
Yeah, it's nice to see him actually score a goal on a goaltender. I mean,
he's no Jay Leach anymore.
Scoring, right? Yeah, like I think Jake Middleton. The one thing that you can say about Jake Middleton is like this is a guy that has worked his butt off to get here. And I know I've said this on a billion shows by this point this year, but
it's shown.
It doesn't make it any less true, right? Like this is a guy who worked his butt off. This is a guy who stuck with it and kept working when guys passed him on the depth chart and, maybe made it on the team quicker than we thought they would. Or, like I thought Jake Middleton would be a guy who would have been on this team sooner than he has, but it's paid off. And now he's starting to see some dividends of the hard work. And I have all the time in the world for a guy like Jake Middleton, who just works his ass off. He's not the most flashy of players. He's not going to dazzle you with, like Erik Karlsson, like skills moving the puck or anything. He just shows up and works hard. And I have all the time in the world for a guy like Jake Middleton.
Yeah. No, he give him credit. He's been doing the right things. And that's why he's partnered with Erik Karlsson, because he's being that steady guy. So Karlsson can be, I don't want to say the flashy guy, but being a little more offensive minded. Middleton helps him defensively there for it.
Oh, absolutely. Like, I mean, again, like it goes back. Like, obviously, you want people to do what they excel at. Erik Karlsson's never going to excel at the defensive side of the game. Like, that's not what he's paid to do, right?
Right.
He's a guy he's going to either make a good first pass or he's going to carry it out of the zone. So yeah, Jake Middleton's going to be the guy that's going to have to put the hard hat on and hit people and, and try to take care of things in the Z zone, and then get it to Erik Karlsson who will get it out of the ice. Like that's how that works. And, and so far Jake Middleton's done a really, really good job of that. And I still think that's, is that the best D pair the Sharks have right now? I still think it is.
I mean, you're making a good argument with them, along with Burns and
yeah, I think Burns and Ferraro have been fine. Don't get me wrong. Like don't interpret that as me dumping on them.
How
I just
dare
think
you?
That, I know. I know. How dare you? I like Mario Ferraro. I like Brent Burns. I just think that as a pair, I think Middleton Karlsson's probably been the best pair on the team this year.
Yeah. And Dan Meyerson saying Middleton and EK65 are not the D pairing we wanted, but the D pairing we deserved.
Yeah. Middleton is the new Method. Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
So far, I mean, and that's, as long as we don't pay Middleton like Mark Method, we'll be fine.
You're right.
That's the fear,
catch.
Right?
Yeah.
This is always the fear when the Sharks find, a D pairing that works with one of their high priced guys is they, this isn't me taking a shot at Jacob Middleton. I just want to see, I hope he sticks. I hope he sticks. Like, honestly, I hope he sticks. And I hope he sticks around and he cements a spot on this team. I just don't want to see him get paid like a guy who is expected to be there for a long time based on one season, because we've seen the Sharks kind of screw the pooch with that. I mean, that Shimmick contract, for example, is terrible. And what is that? Well, he played with Brent Burns good for 1 year. Right?
Yeah. I mean, you hope that he evolves from, he played Burns for 1 year. But, I mean, we said that years ago about Brendan Dillon. It's like, oh, gosh, what are you doing? And then he progressively became a better defenseman.
Like Brendan Dillon from when he joined the Sharks to now, I mean, like, completely different defenseman, because I wasn't a big Dillon guy when he first joined the team either, but he was a guy who just worked hard, and I think he definitely he was definitely a guy that I was sad to see go when he went. And when he first came here, I would have launched him to the sun.
You're not wrong.
Like on a rocket with Martin Jones to the sun.
You're not holding back, and of course There's a reason why he says Martin Jones to the Sun, but we'll get into that a little bit later, shall we? Middleton made it 2-0. Bratt would take a hooking call midway through the second period, and then Logan Couture finds Timo Meier across ice, and he shot that puck with authority, I thought. I mean, that was just, I don't think I've ever seen a power wrister like that before. That had some oomph to it.
Yeah.
And to make
Timo Meier's on pace to score a bajillion points this year. I think I would be disappointed at the end of the season if Timo Meier doesn't have 30 goals at least.
Yeah. At this rate,
the way he's playing now, like he should hit that no problem.
Yeah. And like we were saying, Dylan, a guy you were sad to see arrive and then sad to see leave. Yeah, for sure. But yeah, Timo, his 9th on the power play, his 10th on the power play. He's the first Shark to get into double digits in goal scoring this year to make it 3-0. And then about 41 seconds later, Erik Karlsson kind of was pinching up. He was going to the net. Then he backed up a little bit. And then, who was it? Barabanov found him cross ice backdoor.
Silly good pass. And again, and Gregor getting the puck to Barabanov on that play, adding to his game. But yeah, no, I mean, again, this is why Erik Karlsson makes the money, because like he's got the offensively aware chops. He knows where he's good at identifying seams like that. And the Sharks, like the passing that they did tonight was just unreal.
Right.
And, credit to the Sharks. And also, if I'm Lindy Ruff, I'm probably not very happy with those lanes being open, but the Sharks took advantage of everything the Devils gave them tonight, which was a lot, especially in that second period.
Yeah.
And Erik Karlsson, he ain't going to miss from there.
No, and he shouldn't, because if he did, so that made it 4-0 after 2 periods play. But then New Jersey comes on a run here. They get 2 goals in about 4 minutes, 2 goals in about 3.5 minutes. Tomas Tatar, and then Jesper Bratt being a Bratt. All of a sudden it's like, okay, hang on, let's not get too crazy. Let's make sure we shut this down.
Yeah, I think, what happened here was there's this magical thing that can happen in an arena called the wave. And clearly the wave, everyone was making fun of them for doing the wave when it was 4-0. And they didn't say nothing after it was 4-2. Clearly the wave works, and we've all been wrong. So keep that in mind, SAP Center, the next time the Sharks are down by, 4 goals. Yeah, maybe do a wave.
Well, it's the Shark Tank. I mean, if there's any place that I think would have been allowed, and I'm trying to use my words gingerly here, if there's any place that would be allowed to do the wave, I would think it's a Shark Tank.
You would think.
I only have waves down here. I mean, come on.
I thought the Devils got they got progressively better that period. The first goal I wasn't really upset by.
No.
I thought the shots definitely weren't looking fantastic for the Sharks, but I didn't think it was like they'd completely taken their foot off the gas. It just, I think that goal definitely was a swing in momentum though. And then that Bratt shot was just unreal. Like he's got a cannon on that guy. But and then I thought the Sharks went right back to work after it was 4-2. They didn't. We've seen times where the Sharks have been up by a bunch of goals, and then they just look like crap the rest of the game. And I thought between the first and second Devils goal, the ice definitely tilted in the Devils' favor, but I don't think it was as awful as of a period as I think my timeline made it out to be.
No, I didn't think it was that bad. I think it was just New Jersey was coming on strong. We've seen this from the Sharks before. The Sharks will go crazy on shots and just not get anything in, or they'll get one maybe in, or they'll get that one and then a teaser goal to make it interesting. I thought they did pretty well. I mean, look, Reimer, 32 saves.
Yep.
941 save percentage. I'm sorry, but you can't be down about that a little bit at
No.
all.
No, I mean, I think you know, like, obviously you want the team to play, you know, buzzer to buzzer. But I mean, that's like, momentum's a thing. It's not always the Sharks aren't just gonna dominate a team, especially this Sharks team isn't just gonna dominate a team for 60 minutes. It's just not gonna happen.
Yeah.
You'd like them to, for sure, but is this team gonna dominate another team for 60 minutes? Well, I don't know. I looked at the schedule. We're not going to play Ottawa again. Right? We're only going to play the Coyotes twice this year, I think.
Damn
Twice?
it.
4 times?
I think it's 3 times.
3 times. Right? Like, there's not very many teams where the Sharks are just going to dominate them for 60 minutes. Like, if that's your expectation, then you're setting yourself up for disappointment.
Well, come on. Like the old NHL Network ads, you need 110%, 100% of the time.
For sure. And that's all good to say, but when does it happen?
Not always.
No.
Not always, but hey, you take them when they come in. I mean, to me, yeah, this was a pretty solid victory for them.
Solid game. Oh, this is a solid game. I think, there was a couple of games where I think they won and you're like, okay, well, thank God for James Reimer.
Yeah. I mean,
but this team, and don't get me wrong, James Reimer was fantastic tonight, but the team in front of him played well. Like, they earned this win. Like, full marks to the Sharks for this win.
Full. I mean, you look at it. Gregor had a great game. Like CP Mofo saying, confidence building amongst Middleton and Gregor. It's nice to see.
Yeah. They said on the broadcast how many players, like they said, like, you have like X players over 30 and then like the rest of them are under 23. So, I mean, obviously there's going to be, there's going to be time, like, this is what you want to see. You want to see guys progressively get better,
right?
Like taking advantage of the opportunities they're being given. Jake Middleton has done everything and more that you could ask from a guy in his spot. Like when the roster was announced this season and they're like, okay, this is what's the name. I'm like, well, good for Jake Middleton, but like, he's not going to be here long. But I don't think, even when Knyzhov gets healthy, I don't know what they do. But is it Jake Middleton that's going to get pulled out of the lineup? I don't think so.
Yeah, no. You make a great point. When Knyzhov returns, where does he go? Does he go as in the third pair or what?
Does him and Šimik fight over ice time, I guess?
I mean, weren't we talking preseason that Hataka is probably going to be the best bet for Karlsson going into the season? And look at what Middleton has done. And
good on him. Like,
go ahead.
And Hataka, like, I know, like, obviously you'd like to see Hataka draw in more, but like, he's just a pup. Like, he's going to be fine.
Yeah.
He's gonna get his shot. Maybe it won't be as soon as people like, but he's gonna get a shot, I think.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, there are so many chances. That's where guys like Šimik, that are on the bubble here, you gotta make something up for yourself before you see the press box, and it's not fun. So with that, the Sharks won 5-2. They've won 2 in a row now. Granted, they're 5-5, but as of right now, the Sharks sit 12-9-1. They are in the number 3 spot in the Pacific, so nice all around. But that being said, Anaheim is at 25, holding on the first wild card. Vegas, just like we predicted, Ian, just like we predicted, 5 teams in the Pacific currently in wild card spots. But, you go down the wild card, Anaheim 25, Vegas 24, Colorado's on the outside looking in at 23. So is Nashville, Dallas at, 22, LA at 21. So there are 4 teams. There are 4 teams within, 4 points of each other.
Yeah.
I mean, you can even say, if you really want to mention the Sharks in there as well, there are 7 teams that are separated by 4 points. It's early, but I mean, you got to get these points early.
Here's the thing, right? And this is the part that kills me the most right now is like a lot of, what do I make of the Sharks team? I don't know yet, because we've played 2 divisional games so far.
One
divisional game, right?
At Calgary.
So it's like, what do I make of this team? Like, and it's funny because we know how the schedule works. Like, the schedule is weighted towards divisional play. You would never know it this season so far from the Sharks, but it's weighted towards divisional play. So it's going to make for a really interesting second half when the Sharks start playing teams in their division and you start getting into, a lot of these games right now. It's like if the Sharks lose, or even if it's a 3-point game, who cares? Because it's a team that's not in your division that you're probably not competing with a playoff spot for. But man, those points are going to be super vital when you start rolling into Anaheim and rolling into Edmonton and Calgary and Anaheim and Vegas. And, that's when things are going to get really interesting for this team. And that's when we're going to really see where they're at. Because I think considering the record, like, they've done pretty good considering they haven't really played any division games, but those, once they start playing the heavy divisional part of their schedule, that's when things are either gonna keep on keeping on, or things are gonna go completely ass up.
Right, and that's where it's gonna be interesting. Get those points banked now, not LeBanc, but get those points. Well, I mean, yeah, LeBanc could use some points too, but get those points banked now to help you down the road. We'll see what happens. Anything is possible. We've seen it happen before with the Blues in 2019. We've seen it from the Sharks in 94, where they started off 0-8-1, started awful, and then made a great run. So who knows? That's why we love this game called hockey.
I mean, like, the difference between this year and last year is so far, and I hope this continues. Yes. Like, James Reimer has given them a chance to win every game. And if that you want to look at the difference between this year and last year, that's the difference so far.
Big time.
James Reimer's been the difference. Now, again, people think I hate goalies. I love goalies. It's true. I love goalies. Like, goalies are my thing. Like, I've always been, a goalie guy. James Reimer has never played more than 33 games in a season. So, I think at some point they're going to have to be able to turn to Hill and get the same quality of goaltending that James Reimer's given them. And I think that's my concern. But as long as James Reimer keeps playing the way he is in there, I don't see any reason why he won't, because I think he's been fantastic. And you don't see cracks in James Reimer's game.
No. That's
right.
The
goalies are going to allow goals. That's no one's coming in getting a shutout every game. But when I look at James Reimer play, I don't see any cracks in his game.
No, I mean,
like, even in Toronto where he had a rough night, an admittedly rough night, he got no help. And I don't think he was awful. I just think he got no help against a team that was firing on all cylinders.
No, it was a rough night for Toronto against Toronto. Toronto's been on a crazy run.
Yep.
What was it? 11 wins this month in November, or 12, I think. Now,
yeah.
After the Anaheim,
and they've got guys who can fill the puck, fill the net with pucks.
Yeah, but at this time, get Hill ready to prep. I mean, we saw that this is the reason why Reimer came in 2016. To get Jones rest, to get ready, and for the playoff push and win games down the road. I believe Reimer's at a 8-4-1 on the season. He entered tonight's game with a 212 goals against, 933 save percentage. I mean, let me ask you.
Okay.
Does he go to the All-Star game?
Reimer?
Right. If you were to call it right now, I mean, this way he's one of the 7th best goal save percentages in the league.
I know it's early. It depends on where the Sharks are at the All-Star break, like how they're good at the team. It's really hard to not send Timo Meier at this point, isn't it?
Maybe you get 2.
Goals are sexy. Yeah, maybe you get 2, but do you? I don't know.
Well, when the voting starts, stuff those ballots, people.
Right? And just to address in the chat, like, yeah, I agree. Like, I'm not expecting like Adin Hill to come in and work a miracle, and then suddenly, I just think that they need, like, it's going to take time, I think, for Adin Hill to get super comfortable and settled and kind of have all his stuff worked on with the defense and everything. But I just think, like, I loved how Reimer's playing. I just don't know if riding Reimer this hard all season is a recipe for success based on history. That's all. And maybe it will be. I don't think that should be the. I think you'd want to see, like, I'm not saying that Adin Hill has to become, the next Dominic Hasek the next time he plays. I just think that you want to see better performances from Hill going forward so that maybe you don't have to ride James Reimer this hard.
Right. And let's be honest here. I would think that they gave up a 2022 second round pick for Adin Hill to eventually be a starter or take a good chunk of these games right now. Yeah, it's kind of leaning one way at the moment, but
and as it should, man. Like, again, James Reimer's been great, so I'm not complaining that James Reimer is starting too much and Hill should be getting a chance. Like, I'm not down on Adin Hill, but I think Adin Hill knows he has to be better. I think we can all agree Adin Hill has to be better. Like, I don't think I'm saying anything out of school there. I just think based on James Reimer's usual workload, is this sustainable? That's my only question. Right. Or is he going to be completely gassed by the end of the year? That's all I'm worried about.
Yeah. So let's get to some of the comments from the locker room. Middleton, another big road win. I just try to keep my head up. If you ask EK65, I have 30 good looks a game. It was nice to score on a goalie. This is the fun part, is that you get some of these good quotes with these guys doing really well. Speaking of which, by far Gregor's best game. I like that line. Everything they brought tonight. From Bob, Noah came back. I'm more confident now. I don't want to go back down. I'm just trying to stay here. It's a big trip for us, and we need to continue in the back-to-backs.
Yeah,
that's what you want to hear, right? For a guy who's hungry and is desire.
Yeah, man. I absolutely, like, no one wants to be in the A, man. You don't go through life being a pro hockey player and your end goal is never the A. Like, I mean, for some people they end up, then that's where they end up, and they carve out decent careers for themselves in the A, and that's fine. Right. I'm not taking a dump on those people. You have to be a really good hockey player to be a player that consistently stays in the A. But I mean, your goal, no one dreams about winning a Calder Cup. They want a Stanley Cup.
Right. Unless you're Roy Sommer, I guess, who's been in the minor leagues for 23 years. We have to manage the puck a little bit better. Mids and Carlson could have played the first goal better. Yeah. I mean, as much as we were, giving love to Middleton earlier, yeah, he had a little bit of hiccup on that first goal, getting that clear out zone.
Yeah, it was an unfortunate bounce, I think.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think he played it wrong. I think it just bounced funny on him, and when we get to the reach around, we can talk about bouncing pucks.
It's wraparound. Thank you very much. Jeez, no so much. Definitely one of my better games. Our line created a lot tonight. Luzhin Knizhov was a big hole for us. Mids has been taking most of it, playing with EK65. They play off each other well. Mids does the dirty work and has good patience. So like we were saying, Middleton's been
they complement each other incredibly well, and obviously that's a big reason for their success, right? And also, I mean, again, defensively, like, Erik Karlsson's not going to light the world on fire, but I mean, he's still a very smart player, and having that kind of person to kind of, coming in and trying to stick in the NHL and having that ear to bend, I mean, you could do a lot worse.
Right. It's awesome to see Mids get a couple of goals this week. I always knew he had it in him from Noah Gregor, who spent a lot of time with him at the Barracuda for sure. So Rhymes was good early. Contributions throughout the lineup. Meier has been one of the best all year. I like the little things he's been doing. Yeah, and it's not just been goals. He's been throwing his weight around on occasion too. I mean, he's still rounding up his game, I would think.
Yeah, I think he's been, like I said, I think he's every game he gets better.
Yeah.
And that's what you want to see, right?
I would hope so. I mean, if you're, like you said,
I mean, if you don't want to see that, I mean, I guess, Team Tank and all, but like, no, that's what you want to see.
Is there anybody on Team Tank right now still with the rate that this team has been performing so far. But and then this is one I was going to lead into with you. If you had heard anything, all indications are we will play the game versus the Islanders. We'll know for real tomorrow morning, and that kind of gets into the situation with COVID. Of course, the Islanders have been definitely dealing with a number of players out. I think I saw one Ranger was under COVID protocol the other day, which could be a nightmare for the Sharks to have to come back to the East Coast to make those games up. So,
yeah.
Excuse me.
Also, just in the chat there, David, thank you for the show. It's now my go-to post-game. Awesome. I'm glad that's kind of why we do this, right? I feel like we do this for a couple of reasons. One, because it's fun.
Yes.
Two, because I feel like sometimes, even if you got the post-game, you're not always going to get reality from the post-game. It's kind of become the propaganda wing of the Sharks.
Jeez.
So I feel like, you're going to get I feel like maybe all our takes aren't good, but they're honest.
That's what we try to be. I mean, if
right,
anything...
and that's all you can do.
Right.
I'm not saying all my takes are the best, and you should leave this show thinking everything I think as a fan. That's not why I'm here. But even if my take is bad, and I definitely spit out some bad takes here and there, they're honest at least, right? And I think that's why this show works, and I think that's why it resonates with people.
And honestly, we go live after every game, no matter where it's on. And with it being on ESPN Plus, we know that some people don't have that, or they have the pirate stream. And from what I've gathered this year, they don't have access to the post games on the live streams now. So, we're kind of that post. Oh boy, yeah, I saw that. Let me get this up here. Unload up, Panda. Okay, come on, Ian. Do your magic. I come here to hear Ian complain. Let's make it happen.
We're gonna get there at some point, right? I know I've surprised myself with the lack of complaining I've done so far this season. It feels like every time they have a real stinker of a game so far, I haven't been on. So
what we're saying is we're gonna have to keep you on, for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
Okay.
Something's gonna happen, and you will get a classic Ian rant at some point. But again, it'll be honest. It'll come from a real place, and I'm not just gonna come here and rant for no reason. It's gonna be for a good reason, and I'm sure we'll get there at some point. It's a long season, but so far so good.
Yeah, and so it's. We'll see. Unloaded Panda, I got tickets for Thursday. Hope it's not canceled. Yeah, that's a tough part.
I mean, my concern here is the Olympics, right? Because I love me some Olympic hockey. And I'll be really sad if the NHL doesn't go, but I'm really worried about it now because, I know I was listening to 32 Thoughts earlier today, and I know it was Friedman said that a lot of teams are getting a little grumbly about it. Yep. But at the end of the day, I think the NHL is going to hold their nose here, because this is the one thing, when they had to get the players to agree to the new CBA to get them through this COVID thing, this is pretty much the only thing the players really got out of that deal.
Right.
They're getting killed in escrow. If they don't go to the Olympics, which I'm worried about, but I don't think it's completely out of the question now. I don't think it's completely done. They're not going. But if they don't go to the Olympics, I am not excited for the next round of CBA negotiations, because the players really, everyone took it on the nose from this COVID situation, obviously, but this is the one thing the players kind of got out of the deal. So if they don't get to go, whether it's the right thing, wrong thing, whatever, I think that's going to be a real acrimonious rest of this extended CBA.
It's going to be really scary. We've had labor issues, at least easing of labor issues for like 8 years. Let's just keep it going, people. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I definitely can see, like, I'm seeing the chat, like, obviously, like, a lot of people, like, the Olympics are probably dumb at this point. You're right. I'm not I'm not an idiot, but the idea of, I love hockey. I love best on best hockey, even if it's going to be on at stupid times. But I mean, we'll see what happens, right?
Yeah, and that's the thing. We hope everybody's okay. With the Islanders, we know it took a little bit to get them postponed for a bit. You hope it doesn't get spread around some more, because it is scary right now to see, and especially with this new variant that's out there. You hope things are gonna be okay. I mean, I know that the OHL Sudbury Wolves got shut down as 12 players got tested positive for COVID too. So that's another one.
I can't remember if they were playing here or there tomorrow, but I know they were supposed to play the Hounds tomorrow, and like up here. So Sudbury's, for those that don't know, Sudbury is about 3 hours down the highway from me to the east. Where I live in the Sioux, Sault Ste. Marie, for those that don't know. Yeah, we've and I've said this on stream and off stream too. Like we've had more cases now than we ever have through the entire pandemic. Like this, we've had a super outbreak, and it just seems to grow bigger and bigger every day. They seem to keep adding more. The numbers just keep getting bigger and bigger for active cases. So yeah, I mean, it's a problem for sure.
Yeah, and it's the last thing I think anybody wants to have, let alone trying to go to the Olympics. You have all that on top of it, and everybody be safe. That's the important part.
Yeah. I mean, be like, exactly.
So
be safe, do the right things, and we'll get through this at some point.
All right, let's get to the wraparound on this night. Where's Laurel to correct me on that? Late in the third period, the Lightning and Blues are tied up at 3-3. Corey Perry has a goal. Wow. Okay. Predators 5-0 on the Blue Jackets.
We didn't talk about the goal, though.
What goal?
You didn't see the
I
goal
haven't
that
seen...
Bennington. Oh my goodness. Okay, so
go ahead.
The goalies are voodoo, and so is the puck apparently. So there was a puck, and it went off the stanchion, bounced on, took a funny bounce back towards Bennington, and went behind him. You have to go find this guy. It's out there.
Okay, I'm looking at it. It's bouncing off. Banks. Gosh, what was it? I forget who the goaltender was for Montreal, but Link Gates shot the puck in off the boards, takes a weird carom, goes right in off the net. This is one of those weird ones. Wow, that's crazy. Oh, couldn't happen to a better goalie, in my opinion.
Right.
It's gonna be
but yeah, goalies are voodoo, and so is the puck apparently.
Right. So Predators up 5-0 on the Columbus Blue Jackets. Philip Forsberg with now it's 6-0.
Oof.
Philip Forsberg with 4 goals on the night. He's got the rooster trick.
Yeah, Nashville coming on a little bit. Last little bit, like they've been so, but like Nashville's a team that's always confused me, because like they've always had like these great offensive players who cannot score goals apparently, but tonight apparently not the case. Poor Columbus getting
shellacked. Minnesota up 5-2 on the Desert Dogs. Foligno with his 9th of the season. Kaprizov with his 7th on there. The Wild are going to retire Mika Koivu's number 11. Or no, excuse me, number 9, if I'm not mistaken, right? So that's going to... Yeah, coming soon. I was
told there would be no thinking on this show.
Sorry, my bad. Dallas up 2-0 after 2 periods with against the Hurricanes. Rupe Hintz with the pair of goals, his 8th and 9th on the season. Of course, games that are final now. Red Wings beat the Bruins 2-1. Nice.
Yeah, Bruins kind of need Rask back, eh?
Yeah, Pasternak gets his 8th in the losing cause there. Panthers beat the Caps 5-4. Yeah, bud. Joe Thornton with his second goal of the season. You know,
the garbageest of garbage goals.
You know, Huberdeau and Aaron Ekblad each with 3 assists on the night for the Panthers. Waka Waka. That one, of course, you know about the Sharks and Devils, 5-2. Islanders and Flyers were postponed, and I think Ian is breathing a sigh of relief right now. When that one
is Mr. Jones in net? I don't know.
He was off tonight. They were postponed.
Oh, he was off. But yeah. He's cooled down a little. Like, he had a really good start to his season. He's kind of cooled off a little bit, and his save percentage is slowly trickling down to Martin Jones levels. We'll see what happens. I mean, there's a lot of season left, but so far, yeah. I mean, he's kind of he's come back down to earth a little bit. I thought I was kind of sweating against the Devils there, and then he had a very Martin Jones end to that game. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, the Martin Jones, he's played 7 games, 3-3-1 on the campaign, 921 save percentage, 287 goals against. You're still feeling confident though.
Yeah, if you look at his last, the numbers are really are good, right? But I think if you dig deeper and look at his last 3-4 starts, the cracks are showing.
Yeah. And I'm waiting for Ian to break out an evil laugh right now, but
wow.
Yeah. Joe Pavelski with 2 assists on those 2 Rupe Hintz goals for Dallas in that game. They're up 2-0 on the Hurricanes. So Sharks Islanders is coming up next. That's a 4:30 start on Thursday if it gets played. As Bugner mentioned, it'll be up. They'll find out tomorrow whether they're going to be playing in the brand new UBS Arena. Nice barn. Holy wow. If not, they will go play Friday in New York against the Rangers. So we'll see what happens there. But that's kind of the scheduling for now. Of course, Sunday, the Sharks will play the Blue Jackets if something else happens. So that's kind of your week towards it there.
Yeah, it'll be interesting what happens with the Islanders. I mean, I think if they were going to postpone any more games, they would probably have mentioned it by now. But I don't know. Again, it was interesting because obviously, like, if you're a San Jose Sharks fan, you're going, well, why are all these teams getting shut down and why aren't we not? And I thought, again, from 30 Thoughts, either this last one or the one before, basically, Elliot Friedman was saying, like, the thing with Ottawa was and it was kind of like what I said too on the show as well. Like, with the Sharks, they got all their cases at once, and then it was kind of whatever. Like, Ottawa just kept getting cases as the days went on. Just more people were getting at it, and there was some false positives in there too that kind of wreaked havoc. But I mean, it basically got to the point where they felt that the league felt that they had to shut them down to just stop the spread.
We'll see how it happens. Let's hope that they can get it in, but let's also hope they're safe first and foremost.
Yeah. I mean, it's a game at the end of the day.
Yeah. Pavs leads the Stars in points. Yes, of course he does, because he's Joe freaking Pavelski. So, all right. So that's where we're at right now. So Islanders and Sharks are scheduled to play 4:30 on Thursday. Keep tuned to our Twitter at Tealtown USA. We'll keep you posted on anything that's developed. If not, then we'll go to Friday afternoon for the Sharks in MSG. I would have to think Mark has got to be at that game if he's not at the pair of games. So we'll see what happens there. But in case you missed anything, or you want to watch this again, check us out on tealtownusa.com or your favorite podcatcher, whether it's Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, YouTube, SoundCloud, Spotify, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, and of course, always available at tealtownusa.com. Of course, we always encourage you to hit that notification bell, along with hitting the subscribe button, to let us know, to be notified and be a part of the show and join the conversation part
Absolutely. Also, if you're catching the video late, if you're not watching live, leave us a comment too. Like, we love that.
Absolutely.
I try to respond to any comments that get posted to shows if I have something that I feel like, I can add. But we definitely appreciate that interaction as well.
Yes. On Thursday, we should mention, if the Sharks and Islanders do play on Thursday, we'll spin the wheel for the for some of the prizes we can give out for those who donated for Hockey Fights Cancer. AJ has donated the $300 total to Hockey Fights Cancer for the raffle for the trip to the All-Star game. So fingers crossed on that. Of course, if one of our tickets wins, we'll do another wheel and have you in the running for that. So, of course, friends and family of the show, or I'm sorry, family members of the show, along with yours truly and us, are not allowed. So that gives you a better chance. So, Ian, thank you as always, good sir. I know it's been a little crazy show and there's a lot going on. First off, do you know French, and are you in the running for the Montreal Canadiens general manager job?
Yeah, my French is incredibly poor, so unfortunately, no, I am not in the running for the Montreal Canadiens general manager job. But it'll be interesting. I'm curious to see what's going to happen there. I really liked the Jeff Gorton hire. I think that I mean, you look at what the Rangers are doing now. Like, obviously, the current Chris Drury does deserve some credit for that, but like. They always say, like, when a GM goes, like, you can't really finish writing the book on that GM for like a couple of seasons after they're gone. And I think Jeff Gorton put the Rangers in a really good spot. So I think him being at the head of the ship in Montreal, I think that's a really shrewd hire by the Canadiens. And then he can kind of do that, and then they can bring in a GM who, can obviously. He'll help guide the GM, but he can, the GM can do a lot of the communicating. I think Jeff Gorton's best when he can just kind of run things behind the scenes and has like someone who can speak to the media on his behalf. He never really spoke to the media very much. When he was in New York, it was usually John Davidson that did a lot of the talking there. So I think it's a really good hire, and I think that I'm curious to see who they will hire for the GM, who I think will be more of the face of that operation. But I think Jeff Gorton was a really, really good hire for the Canadiens.
It's too bad he didn't work for the Islanders. He could have been the Gordon's fisherman. Oh, well.
He could have been.
Oh, well. All right. He's at Ian Blogs Hockey. I'm at PuckGuy14 on the Twitter and the Instagram. Again, we will be back with you, we hope, Thursday night following Islanders and Sharks. Otherwise, Friday, Rangers and Sharks from MSG. Burge, if you have the qualifications, yes. Even if you have a French last name, can you get the job? Come on. So that'll do it for us. The conversation now continues over on our Discord. The link is in the live chat right now. So until Thursday night, we hope, keep it real, keep it teal, keep it real teal. Have a great night, everyone. We will see you, we hope, Thursday night.